This video reviews Takeda's FY 2025 first quarter financial results, covering the period from April to June 2025. Takeda Pharmaceutical Co Ltd is Japan's largest pharmaceutical firm and one of the major global players in the industry. Financial Results Summary. Takeda uses two standards for financial results. Reported basis shows the official results including all items, and core basis removes unusual or one-time items to reflect the company's normal business performance. In the first quarter, revenue fell year-on-year to 1,106.7 billion yen, mainly due to the strong performance of Vyvanse in the prior year and foreign exchange headwinds. On a reported basis, operating profit rose 11.0% thanks to lower impairment and restructuring costs, but declined 11.9% on a core basis. Net profit and EPS increased on a reported basis, but on a core basis both declined by around 10%. Takeda noted the first quarter was expected to be the quarter most impacted by loss of Vyvanse exclusivity, but kept its full-year guidance unchanged. The progress rate toward the annual net profit forecast is 54.5%, indicating no concerns with the progress. First quarter revenue compared with the same period last year. Revenue fell 8.4% year-on-year, or 3.7% at constant exchange rates, mainly due to declines in products affected by the loss of Vyvanse exclusivity. Foreign exchange also had a negative impact. First quarter core operating profit with the same period last year. Core operating profit also fell 15.8% year-on-year, or 11.9% at constant exchange rates, again mainly due to the impact of Vyvanse's loss of exclusivity. Takeda's global manufacturing footprint. Takeda's manufacturing is centered in the US, Europe, Japan, and Singapore, with 22 sites, most serving the US market. About 50% of revenue comes from the US, but imports account for only 8 to 10% there, and in China, imports make up 12 to 15% of revenue. Takeda expects the impact of US tariffs is limited. The FY 2025 full-year outlook remains unchanged from the previous forecast. Revenue is expected to decline slightly, and core operating profit is also expected to decrease slightly. But reported EPS is forecast to rise to 145 yen, and the dividend is expected to be 200 yen per share, an increase of 4 yen from the previous year. In the first quarter, Vyvanse revenue dropped 46.9% at constant exchange rates to 57.9 billion yen, with U.S. sales falling 53.8% as generic versions became widely available. Outside the U.S., major markets such as Canada, Brazil, and Germany also saw generic competition starting in mid to late 2024. The decline in Vyvanse revenue is significant, but growth in newly launched products generated 558.1 billion yen, which is about half of total revenue, rising 5.0% at constant exchange rates, with stronger growth expected in the coming quarters. Late-stage pipeline for FY 2025. 3 drugs are expected to be launched soon. Rusfertide for polycythemia vera, oveporexton for narcolepsy type 1, and zasocitinib for psoriasis are expected to have key data results or regulatory filings this year. In particular, zasocitinib is projected to reach peak sales of $6 billion, making these developments important events for the future. Stock price. This is the Japanese yen base chart for the last 1 year. The Japanese yen stock price is 4,409 yen as of August 15, and the US dollar stock price is $14.80 as of August 14. Recently, stock price had been in a downward trend, but it turned upward after the earnings announcements and have continued rising, supported by the overall strong performance of Japanese stocks. Current PBR is 1.01 and PER is 30.5. Dividend yield is 4.54%. Compared to previous years, the PBR and dividend yield are roughly the same, while the current stock price is relatively cheap in terms of PER. Conclusion. Takeda's first quarter results showed a sharp drop in Vyvanse sales due to loss of exclusivity, which weighed on revenue and core operating profit. However, growth and newly launched products performed well at least. With several late-stage drugs approaching key milestones, including the high-potential zasocitinib, Takeda is positioning for renewed growth in the coming years.